Are we all ready to go?
Yeah.
We excited? We pumped? You should be. All right. So, our poets tonight will go in this order. First, we have Too Cool. All right, yeah, you don't have to stand up yet. We're just establishing the order for the scorekeeper. Next, we have Iris Applequist. Am I going slow enough, David? He is right, he's down. All right, number 3, we have Slam Master Jen Harris.
Oh, shit!
4, we have Jeanette Powers.
I'm so grateful.
5, we have Misconception. Having a run of pound hosts here. 6 is Josh Staley. Round of applause. I'm so glad you're here, Edna. Next we have Robert Gano.
I like blue.
After which we have Mo Christo. And then we have Joe Bayer. Lots of names I don't know. That's awesome. I'm so glad we have you keep on. Then we have Dylan Collins. What I do? 3 more. Then we have Esno Martin. Fell off the ball. And then we have Amazing. And last but certainly not least is Nightlife Jones. Round of applause for our poets. All right. Those of you who have been here before know that we have sacrificial poets between the rounds. They are poets to get you warmed up. This time, they're also going to warm up the judges, which we have not done before. So if you are a judge this time, you are also judging the sacrificial poets. Their scores don't count toward the final rankings, but they're to get everyone warmed up and accustomed to the process, all right? Come on, thank you. All right, and our first sacrificial is none other than Chris the Toaster. Round of applause, please.
Xenomorph!
Get it, toaster!
I love you so much.
Get it, baby.
I was just watching Aliens earlier today. At the bottom of the landfill we dug for ourselves and filled with all the really good ideas we had as kids but outgrew when we became adults is an idea called gratitude. A resilient little son of a bitch, gratitude, it stands against grumbling, always says please and thank you, and still always gets excited at the idea of free air. So everyone, take a breath. Again. Good, right? Oxygen is euphoric, and it did not cost you a cent, but it's the only breath like it you will ever take. Remember when we were kids, before we blinded ourselves with tiny glowing screens and we used these precious breaths to tell each other funny stories, or secrets we trusted each other to know, or just to tell someone we care about them, or to finally walk to that girl's house, just to stand on that porch and say, I love you from the bottom of my lung. Because it goes way deeper than this foolish heart, and I got 2 of them on both sides of my chest, and they both run on empty every time you walk by. Now, this isn't a proposal, but if you should feel so inclined to go to the prom, I do sincerely hope you choose to go with me, because girl, I got a crush on you the size of the smile on your face right now. Take the time to speak in person, to a person, as a person. Stop abbreviating everything in order to save time. These people deserve a whole lot more than that, but at least offer them that much. I have had conversations where every sentence ended in LOL and all I wanted to do was cry. For the love of greatness, please, stop tweeting for a minute. You are not birds, no matter how many hours you spend flapping like one. Stop using cover photos to cover up who you really are. Stop gauging your self-worth by the number of friends you click. It breaks my heart, makes me feel like I'm gonna snap, chat, and slap you in the face. Trending against the mainstream, put a pin in it, starving off your newsfeed. Thumbs up, comment, subscribe, please. Repost if you love me, love me, love me, please. I need the validation, hot or not, seriously, hot or not. Hashtag stop it. This single mom put down the Candy Crush for 5 fucking seconds and went outside with her kids. What happened next will blow your mind. I remember we used to share moments, not Upworthy articles. I remember memes used to be called inside jokes. I remember back when apples were good for you and windows led outside. There was a time when, if you wanted information, you opened a book. If you wanted to talk, you went next door. If you wanted to see something meaningful, you went outside and you looked up. And if you think those days are over, let me ask you some simple questions like, how excited do you still get when you know all the words to a Disney song?
Real excited.
How badly do you miss Macho Man Randy Savage? How many of you know Adam West to be the true Batman? Precisely wrong. When did all of this stop being important? How betrayed did your action figures feel when you gauged their value in dollar signs rather than days spent in your imagination? And how many of you, like me, just thought about Toy Story? If we somehow met our 7-year-old selves and had to explain our current lives to them, how badly would they beat our asses? My friend Ryan, one of the most delightfully childlike people I know, will sometimes pause and go, bro, remember? Yeah, I remember. So you may want to look up from your phones. I promise, you don't want to miss this. Thank you.
While the judges are calibrating, one thing I forgot to say in the rules. I mentioned that you have 3 minutes for your poem, but your time starts when you open your mouth. So if you go into a backstory about how your poem is about your pet hamster when you were 7, that counts, okay? Comprende? Thanks. All right, judges. Up, we have 9, 8.5, 9.5, 8.4, and 8.5. Round of applause for Chris. Thank you, sir. All right, and now it begins. We get into the lineup, and first we have Too Cool.
Get it, girl.
And we clap all the way to the stage. Keep it going. Thank you. You got this.
Look, Miss America, you're probably thinking I don't know much about makeup. I do know one thing. From the hills of the Hamptons to the high rises of Harlem, we gotta change the way the face of this nation is made up. And it starts by embracing the racist foundation our forefathers gave us. Take the variations of shades that make us and use them to smooth the bruises of Sandy Hook, Fruitville Station in St. Louis before these waves of rage erase us. Or the rich man's pursuit of happiness break us. It's already happening. Po faces are so desperate they're waiting on instant gratification for the next pay up. Bottom line is, Miss America, if you want to stay up, you better wake up. Nap time's over. Because you've been asleep on your dreams since you killed Kennedy and Johnson took over. And ever since I've been trying to get over this sense that you're trying to get over on we, the people. Look, Miss America, see me, I'm peaceful. But frankly, as hard as these days be, I'm going crazy. I mean, a real short trip from Lethal. When I ain't driving, Miss Daisy. I'm in the fast lane driving batshit crazy on my way to revolution. Yeah, I checked every exit for a better resolution. I even stopped by the government, but they were shut down, couldn't come to a conclusion. And with my good friend Equal Rights so damn lost, who wouldn't rely on their own constitution? Look, Miss America. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, that the present just ain't that bright. Can't you see that it's mostly because your leaders ain't wrapped too tight? Can't you see that if you keep suffocating your diversity, you will seize the very thing that keeps you alive? Can't you see your freedoms are barely in sight? You better face it, man. Tupac was right. Lady Liberty needs glasses because no one's seen their inalienable rights. So look, Miss America, you're probably thinking that I don't know much about your makeup. I do know one thing. From the hills of the Hamptons to the high rise of Harlem, by any means, we gotta change the way the face of this nation is made up.
All right, thank you. Too cool. Good stuff, guys. All right, judges. When you have them, put them up.
So Native American.
All right, we have an 8.7, 8.3, 8.8, 9.2, and a 9.0. Another round of applause for Too Cool, please. Thank you. All right, we have a good crowd tonight. You guys excited? You glad to be here? Some energy going on? All right, keep that going for our next poet, Miss Iris Applequist. Round of applause, please.
Row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Woo! In the beginning, there was already everything. And until the world occurred, everything had decided that everything would be okay. After the world, things started to segregate and become hazy simultaneously, like the thing one does when one believes that they're alone, except whatever one does is constantly noted for posterity. One might scratch the pimples on their face while watching pornos. One might masturbate while driving their car. One might shit on the bathroom floor at McDonald's on purpose. One might utter lies to their children out of laziness. The beginning had its eye on the last line the whole time. The end higher while you were out. The length of history is a segue that everything endures as it buffs its fingernails against its shirt pocket. Ha, ha, ha. To the motherfucker who thinks they mean something against the everything, who believes in the virulent miracle of being, who knocks their motherfucker jargon against the canon of humanity, which, by the way, is purging itself of itself steadily. Hello, world. You are loved. And love couldn't mean less than it does to things other than us.
Thank you, Iris. Judges, how those scores coming? Up, 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 up and away. 9.0, 8.5, sorry, 8.5, 7.5, 8.8. Another round for Iris, please. All right, guys, we have a great lineup tonight. You are so lucky. Up next, the one and only Jen Harris. All the way to the stage.
How you doing? No props.
This is a public service announcement from a disgruntled addict. Do not ever, ever start smoking cigarettes. I recently quit smoking, which I fucking hate because I loved smoking. loved. I'm talking Meg Ryan, Tom Hanks love. I'm talking Nicholas Sparks and White Christmas love. I'm talking Romeo and Juliet, John and Yoko, Thelma and Louise love. Gertrude and Alice, Aladdin and Jasmine, Ariel and Eric, Beauty and the Beast, Jack and Rose, Ross and Rachel, Will and Grace loved smoking. I didn't want to quit. It's just one of those things you think about when you reach a certain age. You'll be surprised that you made it this long, and since we can't turn back now, you'll change. In aspiration that your next 30 will be far more productive and far less destructive than your previous 30. But be forewarned. The misery of this wretched, positive experience has turned me into a fucking monster. And even evolved creatures have primitive reactions. So I must warn you at this time that I am not capable of taking the high road, and when I swing low, sweet chariot, I will rip you open and set you ablaze like Helios to the evening sky. Stay back! Because I fucking loved smoking. I loved smoking like Liza loved marrying gay men. I loved smoking like gay men love Barbara Streisand. I loved smoking like dykes love rescue dogs. And if you have never deprived yourself of an addiction, you don't know what quitting is like. For 11 days, I've been plucking out my pubic hairs individually with dull fucking tweezers. I've been cutting up onions at my grandmother's funeral. I have been spending so much fucking time shaving off my fucking nipples with a cigar cutter. I have caught my dick in a zipper. I have thrown puppies into oncoming traffic like fucking paper airplanes. I have gone an entire day without Google, coffee, and toilet paper, and nothing has ever sucked this bad. Quitting smoking is like getting a DUI. It's like working at Mr. Goodsense. It's like Scientology. I want a motherfucking cigarette.
Yeah.
This has been a public service announcement from a disgruntled addict. All right, thank you, Jen. All right, we have one judge, 8.2, 9.5, 9.5, 9.5, and 9.4. Another round of applause. I sense we have some people who have been smoking in this room. I am one of them. All right, up next we have Jeanette Powers. Round of applause.
Cheer back.
Get it, Mama!
Yeah, I'm sorry. Staying in one spot. That's been
Girl. It's the knees together, hands folded, shoulders back, pleasant smile kind of a day. And you must be planning on keeping it that way because you got 2 tons of totem pole above you and you gotta keep that tower from toppling. Girl. It's a bright eyeshadow, ruby red lipstick. Bitch, you better put that mascara on because we can't have you going around here looking so exhausted. Looking so worn out. We don't want you looking tired from doing the work at 10 men to keep half caught up with this good old boys club. 80 cents on the dollar makes mama wanna holler. Like I'm standing up at the center of a right. Now, we about to do the do good dance we're all so goddamn tired of doing. It goes a little something like this. Get fucked! Get fucked! Get fucked! Punished and penetrated, taken in, not good enough. Abused by, self-abusing, not good enough, 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 not good enough. Do better! Woo! Ladies, it is our natural anthem, our uterine prayer, the big fat golden egg we lay like clockwork for all the men in power who just keep hoping the womenfolk don't notice all the double duty, unpaid overtime they've been doing. Ladies, all that double time overdue from morning mirror look right, high heels, hose, platform smile, to teaching your children to not teach everyone like, well, the power elite treat every one of us poor, ladylike, black, brown, imported foreigner, homosexual, transgender, basically just everyone who doesn't look or think like the powerful do. So girl, it's a knees together, hands folded, shoulders back, pleasant smile. Because the big boys would like to keep their jobs if you please. And you and me, all we've got to say is how happy we are to say, get fucked. Jeanette Powers, everyone. I'm not supposed to comment on poetry. Judges, do we have scores? We have a 9.5, a 9.1, a 10, a 9.3, a 9.3. Round of applause for Jeanette. Thank you. And up next, keep it going for Misconception. All the way.
So many moons ago, our great mother awoke and spoke aloud. She choked one word down, revolution, sounding proud and with a mission. Our mother, she whispered a definition. The orbiting of heavenly bodies around a sun. Revolution. Can you see it? 'Cause here it comes. See, my generation has been kidnapped, a victim of the man, prey of this plan in this crazy time and space, the entire humankind still locked in this rat race. Not to mention the government's faceless force here to cover up the source of our true course of nature to date. Might be fate, but there is an escape. Right this way, you see, come pray with me. Create a new body, become one with your chi. Some say and pray ancient prophecy, while others crave and trade this new age philosophy. But these wavelengths are all sent straight from Elohim, so I'm asking you, please, let's rewrite history with this rhythm and poetry. Spoken word knowingly, spitting our written rhyme alive, trying to stop time and wake you up at the same line. Shake you up from the divine, give it space to realign our men and women, unwind our minds, spin and redefine this crime, sin, and hold up. Let me start over from the beginning. So we all remember when we called for desegregation for black people, right? Right. Now it's time to demand this kind of respect for fat people. For mad people and sad people, good and bad people, poor people, war people, your people, more people, doormen and storemen, even whore women. Peace for the Native American Mexicans, firemen, gay men, the straight and the trippin', the pimpin', the limpin', those just skimming along. It's time to rewrite that new freedom song that is not limited to one specific wrong. That shit's been going on too damn long inside this rhythm and poetry. Spoken word knowingly, spitting our written rhyme alive, trying to stop time and wake you up at the same line. Shake you up from the divine, give it space to realign our men and women on a wine mind, spin and redefine this crime sin, and I think we're on the brink of starting over from the beginning. So I've decided, with your help, of course, to start this new poetic world order, right? One not so much divided by all of these foreign war borders. More focused on fair trade and local supporters, no more organic importers, that shit's for hoarders. Cause this time you're the gardener and the chef. You know what's best, not this government dressed up for their cause. We no longer follow those laws, they don't make sense because they were never made for jadis. Served up for the blessed. In a world of the oppressed, y'all, we are no longer citizens of a depressed country built on protest. Yeah, it's time to rewrite our own address. A new world order fresh off the menu, coalesce. Serve it all up for free, and yeah, I need you coming with me with this rhythm and poetry. Spoken word knowingly, spitting our written rhyme alive. Trying to stop time and wake you up at the same line. Shake you up from the divine, give it space to realign our men and women. Unwind our minds, spin and redefine this crime sin, and y'all, I think we just started over from the beginning. See, many moons ago, our great mother awoke and spoke aloud. She choked one word down, revolution, sounding proud and with a mission. Our mother, she whispered a definition. It is the orbiting of heavenly bodies around a sun. Revolution. Can you see it? Because here it comes. Thank you.
Misconception, everybody. All right, judges, do we have scores? We have a 9.8, an 8.8, a 9.3, an 8.6, a 9.1. Another round of applause for Misconception, please. All right. I told you we had a good lineup. Told you. All right, and up next we have Josh Staley to the stage. Round of applause, please.
Her life is a love story for me. Then every person she meets, lasting in movements of taste and stylistic victory, each one the very lady, demanding a standing glory on around grounded, gentle earth, step by leap by bound. A deliberate deep, founded intrinsically a gift, resounding, informed, shimmering chimes by the ocean-wide desires, passionate fires, the very woman, bursting both with and worth this sky and this rain. For America, for me, it's value, pleasure, then now, again, once again. Virtuous friend. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, keep it going. Thank you, Josh. And judges, do we have scores? All right, we have an 8.2, a 6, an 8.8, a 7.8, and an 8.8. Another round of applause for Josh, please. Thank you. All right, and up next, we have another regular, Mr. Robert Gano.
I haven't gotten laid for a while. See, it's like this. You know the reasons why I have not gotten laid. To you, it's perfectly obvious. I'm not nearly so sure. But I do like this arrangement. You know why? Well, I don't. We create a perfect sense of equilibrium, and I like things being equal, but I'm still not getting laid. I do have a theory about why I'm not getting laid. It may be because I have become so phenomenal in bed, so ecstatically quantum in my unprecedented sensuality. Even my cock has a third cock that distorts our perception of all that tinfoil bent over my balls. So, if you choose to fuck me, you could not stop from getting so tripped out that you would bite into my eyeballs, rip them out, and call them candy, because when you are fucking me, everything is so damn tasty. That would be incredibly awful of you to do this, and I thank you very much for not being batshit psycho by fucking me and ripping out my eyeballs with your teeth. It's such a noble thing that you don't want to fuck me. Especially because, as you certainly have heard, there is no better taste on this planet than chomping down on my eyeballs while we are fucking. So I totally get it. You don't want to hurt me. You don't fuck me exactly like Mother Teresa doesn't fuck me. But let's say you do want to fuck me. You really, really want to fuck me. And you say my theory of eyeball munching is just a bunch of hogwash. Okay, maybe it is hogwash. But the problem is, I'm not currently wearing my magic underwear. My magic underwear is made by the souls of grapefruits. I know the grapefruit people. So, we cannot have sex unless I am wearing my magic underwear and the grapefruit people tell me they like you. But you are strangely tenacious. You really, really want to fuck me. And you always have an extra pair of your own magic underwear kept in your purse because it looks like you have wanted to fuck me for as long as you care to remember. You too know the grapefruit people. You've been to their covert rituals. You've announced their agenda. You smell like their grapefruit. That smell is so damn sexy. I can no longer deny all of your exquisite grapefruity news. My juicy fruit is starting to feel so ripe it's already gotten moldy. I've got to get this mold in the garbage if you know what I mean. But your magic underwear is made only for women. I won't wear ladies' underwear. I make no exception. Even if your spare panties are made by the good souls of grapefruits. Wearing ladies' panties is not what I do. We will not fuck. Maybe you are a shit-munching weirdo. I've heard you write freaky poetry about genitals. Your shit is too freaky. Stay far away. But I keep smelling your moldy grapefruits wherever I go. I want your grapefruit magic to bounce in my pants. You really, really want to fuck me? To make matters worse, the grapefruit people just told me they like you. They like you a lot. My dick is throbbing. I am wearing ladies' magic underwear. It fits surprisingly well. I love the grapefruit people. I am a floozy. I am a floozy for your magic panty. Grapefruit goodness. Grapefruits are raining down everywhere. Get your teeth away from my eyeballs.
And that, my friends, is Robert Gano. Judges, do we have scores? We have a 9.5, a 9.4, a 10, a 9.1, and a 9.0. Keep it going for Robert. We're gonna deal with some technical difficulties, if you don't mind. We just want to make sure this doesn't fall on anybody. Round of applause for OZ helping us out. He's making your food in the kitchen. You be grateful. Oh, so the puns abound, you guys. That's what happens when you get too many poets together. We like words too much. All right, thank you, sir. All right, up next we have Mo Christo. Round of applause. Where is Mo? Do we have a Mo? No? Does anyone know Mo? Morgan! Oh, I know Morgan. Get up here. Round of applause for Morgan, otherwise known as Mo.
You want to do that one? All right, so when I point at you, let's practice. You say do better. Do better. I didn't point. All right. Do better. Better. Do better. All right, better. Do better. Come on, one more time. Do better. Thank you. All right. So, my people, we need to do better. Do better. You need to do better. I need to do better. Thank you. We remain divided, and the masses, their complacence is decided. What happened to the states of mixed races, religions, and rights that was once united? My people, we need. Do better! I need to. Do better! You need to. Do better! We are the ones entrusted with the care of this world. We are the ones entrusted with weaving the tapestry of history that has yet to unfurl. This world's legacy is what will be, passing on to your children, to the building blocks of your families, those boys and girls. And my people, we need to. Do better! You need to. Do better! I need to. Do better! We need to do better. Yes. Must take the time to make sure these states are ready to pass on to your progeny, to your prodigies graced rather than defaced. My people, we must.
Do better!
You must.
Do better!
I must.
Do better!
I know. But why should I care? Why am I concerned? Because although I'm far from erudite, I learn at an incredibly fast pace. And I'm confident when I state that history repeats itself. It's a cycle. The people fall into dictators, and then later, them same freedom taken, liberty to file and lie and false promise masticators fall to the people. And my people, we need.
To do better!
I need to.
Do better!
You need to.
Do better!
We need to do whatever it takes. Not for Jesus' sake, but for yours. It is a privilege. It is a privilege to shape this place we live in, and yet so many of us treat it like a burden. We think there's already so much on our plates. Why are we expected to hold the world's weight? Look, a dream can only be attained if it's zealously chased. No battle worth winning is easily fought, and with hard time and a determined drive, do small things become great. My people, we must. My people, we are created equal. Some find home under the umbrella of religions and the ubiquitous God, and others gather comfort in outdated laws. And we have the same spark of potential in each of us, one and all. This is a heralding call from one of y'all. United we stand, divided we fall. My people, we must.
Do better!
You must.
Do better!
I must.
Do better!
I know. I'm trying. I can't do it alone.
Yeah!
All right, thank you, Mo. Keep it going. Judges, we have a 10, a 9.6, a 9.1, an 8.9, and a 9.2. Another round of applause, please, for our lovely judges who are helping us out this evening. All right, and up next, can we have a round of applause for Joe Bear? All the way to the stage.
One day upon my door did knock a man whose demeanor and frock did announce one peddling God. So I said, begone, for you and I will have naught but bad luck when attempting discourse, you vapid fuck. So then I drew deep from his dogma and said it would be sinful for you and I to chat for someone who believes in the voodoo that you do. So I said, if your heavy dude has said that this place and the hereafter is the only answer, he should have spent last time on the pretty lights in the night sky and made the world without cancer. So look me in the eye and tell me why, oh wisely, why should I bow down to a sadistic fuck who, when asked about atrocities to children, says it's part of my plan? Well, I say you should have planned better, you megalomaniacal prick. Did the power make you a dick? So the sad man turned away from my door and stopped and handed me a brochure, and take it I did. And the title, when read, said, putting the myth of evolution to bed. So I stand ready for the next tap from the Lord. I've got a live chicken and a knife and gloves by the door. His sacrifice won't be for naught. It'll be for my sanity, and that is worth a lot.
All right, thank you, Joe. Judges, do we have scores? We have a 9.0, a 7.5, an 8.7, an 8.8, and a 9.0. Round of applause, please. Thanks again, Joe. All right, we have 4 poets left. Then we're going to take a little break while we tally scores and prepare for round 2. So 4 more. Savor them, please. Up next, we have Dylan Collins.
I was 6 years old when I first started to fear my dad. Not because he was abusive in any way, but because he took his responsibilities as a man seriously. And because of that, he took on the difficult role of discipline in our house. Around the time I turned 8 was when I told my mom that I loved her more than Dad. That she was my favorite. She promptly put me down from her arms and said, "Don't say that." I asked her not to tell Dad. This, of course, led to a very awkward 115-mile drive to the nearest Chuck E. Cheese's, just me and my dad. We got pizza for lunch. I love pizza. It had tomatoes on it. I hate tomatoes. When I was 14, my parents started making me do chores. I know, right? I hated it. Not because I was a rebellious child, but because every time I was done, I would go and tell my dad, and he would have me follow him to look at what I'd done. After a long, long pause, he would say quite bluntly, "Do it right." No further explanation on what I had done wrong. I was left to figure it out. 20 years old. That's when I realized I was grateful, because the way I was raised had given me an amazing work ethic, which has gotten me several jobs already. Around the same time I realized this is also when I realized that I can't remember my dad ever walking up to me and giving me a hug and saying he loved me and he was proud of me. Despite all of this, I know he did the best he knew how to. Dad, I love you. I know you love me too. Hug me, Dad. I forgive you.
All right, that's Dylan Collins. And judges, we have a 9.1, a 7.0, a 9.8, a 9.0, and a 9.2. Round of applause, please. Thank you very much. 3 more poets, then you'll get to smoke, okay? Yes. Sorry. I should know better. I'm usually the one writing them down. Slower. Thanks, Jen. Jen's a great cheerleader. What? Thank you. Oh, Esno, you're next. Round of applause for Esno.
Yeah, I'm dreaming. But when I dream, I do it with my hands, with the stalwart sinews of my long back, with the gnawed treads of boots, with the pen and the paper, with the brawn of my tongue. I dream in conversations with practical implications, with the crash of construction, the elation of excavation, and the harmony of the stone. I dream in communions, in serendipitous introductions, in social media connections, in plans proposed in coffee dates booked. Man, I dream in car and high speed, kinetically, loudly, boldly, fearlessly, yet sweetly, gently, passionately, and peacefully. And when I dream, I don't look at the sky or the trees or the ground or the insides of my eyelids. I look at the computer screen with more open windows than a skyscraper, at the drying ink that the future's guaranteed. When I'm lucky, I get to look at ecstatic eyes that dream like mine, with tears and sweat cascading over the brow, and lips and teeth slick and hot with drool, because there hasn't been enough time to swallow or even breathe in my dreams. And my dreams, they're not of faraway places. They are the very act of hitchhiking there. They are profound detours, layovers, best friends, and best friends with layovers. In my dreams, everyone is in love with me because I'm giving them no other option. Yeah. 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 Because I am digging trenches of heart-shaped revolutions. Because I am destroyer of inert sleep. kisses on doorsteps on first dates that have lasted for days. And you better believe that my dreams of attendance in the forest fields and lands, your wishes can actually come true.
All right, Eshno Martin, everybody. Ain't he pretty? Judges, we have a 9.5, an 8.2, a 9.3, 8.7. I'm going too fast. Up next, 9.7 is the last score. Round of applause for Eshno. We almost made it a whole poem without you taking your clothes off. It was so close. Oh, and there we go. Welcome to Poetic Underground, guys. All right, 2 more poets. Up next we have Amazing. Round of applause, please, for Amazing. All the way to the stage. Thank you.
So like kernels of corn in your bowel system, I make shit difficult. I'm a problem. Similar to sex with a chick 2 days into her menstrual, I dare you to fuck with me. So yeah, I'll be gone in a minute and back like a herpes, so I'm suggesting you Google me. Research and study those instances that push me this distance, because I got here on my grandmother's prayer. And since the deck set against me, let's scratch the inches of playing fair, because all my life I've had to fight. So no second guess, I will punch you in your mouth, reach down your throat, turn your heart off. I dare you to say it with your chest, because mere words on swag don't mean much where I'm from. You better refund them and take them back. I'm a problem. I'm young, I'm fat, and I'm black. So man, my skin is colored in stereotype, so my existence gotta count every time. Every rhyme is like an extension of my better half. It's like God's idea of a headdress. I will have you scalped, then give your mind a texturizer, because I think you in need of a better thought process. Because I'm from a village where the rate of those who rise from it is at an all-time low, so I gotta show them my flow. It's like the cold wind blows. Because I've been slept on so long, my daydreams are other folks' nightmares. So goal 1 is to kill uncertainty, certainly. I got this far without always having. A car. And to this day, I smile every time my mother rubs my head and says, boy, I love who you are, because she knows the pain given to see me living. I'm a problem, and I'm pretty sure that's why a lot of little dick dudes don't like me. There's a problem. There's a problem with being a problem that most folks want to find an easy route to solve them. Well, guess what, people? It's chess, not checkers. I make forward movements to secure forward progress in space, so my finances look a lot like my cheek, and then we can call it checkmate. So I'm a serial killer because I murder my haters with kindness. I put hollow points in my word uses to discuss folks like dressing with too much sage. Nitwit with a gift. 6 shit you don't want to get with. See, mama raised no fool, but I will act one when you forget who you talking to. So pardon you as I bust around and lead these new schools on the road to perdition, dropping Obamas in this bitch and this blacking on my president. And I'm not done, as I have not even touched my chorus. I haven't put one in your blowhole like Japan does the porpoise for focus. I'm a problem in those places where neighbors would love to put costume on playing Hollywood, and I wish you would. Get the audacity to test my capacity with that atrocity. But see, I done took all I can stands, and I can't stand no more. So I put tiles on the clock as it's time I see them floor, but amazing. I thought you said you let the old you die. That's such a bummer. No, he's just been sleeping for a minute. But for your troubles, here's an atomic elbow, super kick, and a stunner. I hit hard on them nitros to the sound of thunder, and I pour gallons of fun with no funnel. So you would think it all like arteries collapsing on the cholesterol was best you ever leave me alone. If you don't want to bring these problems home, because I spit these poems like baby's kids. They don't die, they multiply. So I fly high by the all I despise mixed motions. The game been ashy to me, and I'm not feeling the lotion, but I'm its missing component. So bring me back my focus like it was stolen, because I waited this long to see my goals accomplished. Now what the fuck is your problem?
All right, thank you. That is amazing, everybody. Judges, do we have scores? We have a 9.8, a 9.5, a 9.6, a 9.7, and a 9.4. Another round of applause, please. All right, we have one more poet for you in this first round, and then we'll take a little break. So keep it going for Nightlife Jones, everybody. All the way to the stage, please. Thank you kindly.
How we doing tonight? Come on, y'all. How we doing tonight? Yes, I like that. I like that. I like that so much better. I like that so much better. How we doing? Are we happy? This is a really energetic room. This is magical. This is amazing. I love you all. Like, this is some serious shit. So let me see the next future between the suture. And I call it sinister because of how we administer sin. That's when my fingertips are made of her skin. That's when my smile is made of her grin, filled with lust like her bedroom eyes. Skin saturated like her bedroom skies. And when I see her, my pen doesn't write, it cries. My ink flows from Mother Nature's Midwestern thighs. The testosterone in my sweat. The estrogen in her wet. Bet. And they call it sinister because of how we administer sin. That's why my fingertips are made of her skin. That's why my smile is made of her grin, filled with lust like her bedroom eyes. Skin saturated like bedroom skies. And when I see her, my pen doesn't write, it cries. My ink flows from her Midwestern thighs. The testosterone in my sweat. The estrogen in her wet. Bet. And they call it sinister because of how we administer sin. That's why my fingertips are made of her skin. That's why my file is made of her grin, filled with lust like her bedroom eyes. Skin saturated like her bedroom skies. And when I see her, my pen doesn't write, it cries. My ink flows from Mother Nature's with Midwestern sighs. Thank you.
Nightlife Jones, everybody. All right, one more round of scores. Judges, we have a 9, an 8.9, an 8.0, a 9, and an 8.0. Another round of applause, please. Thank you. All right. All right. Guys, you have 10 minutes. We're going to tally scores and put together the lineup for the next round. Smoke, drink, do what you got to do. Be back here in 10. All right. Our sacrificial before this round is none other than Devar, the poet. Can we get him to the stage? All right.
And one of the 7 messengers who had the 7 bowls came and spoke with me, saying to me, "Come, I shall show you the vision of the great whore seated upon many waters." And he showed me the woman, drunk with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And having seen the woman, I marveled, greatly marveled. It's the climax of history, high tax conspiracy. Global government is coming, so I track the mystery before the sky's black with misery. and the Messiah comes back for judgment and delivery on a killing spree for the wicked. Because these days are twisted and foundations are sure to crumble like tectonic plates shifted, makes the earthquake get scripted. That's why my verse takes the message of my father to cause your second birth date before the disaster. Cause that's the days it's coming after, the judgment of the proud-hearted who massacre with laughter, while viciously spilling plasma in the name of ecumenism, which is Babylon's bastard, with inquisitions and crusades, many more than few slayed, while the Pope says hooray whenever his crews raid. If you don't do what you know who say, but whatever you do, just don't drink that Kool-Aid, because their doctrines are shocking, just like the souls they've locked in. Iron maidens from Rome parish, Auschwitz to Boston, burying bodies with Baphomet in a coffin to resurrect Nazi zombies. Did you know this happens often? And that it's oddly the revelation of United Nations stations under New World Order operations as this entire world is chasing sin, burning on fire. So are you asleep or awakened? Because the situations we're facing are ripe for the return of Messiah, when few like Jeremiah speaks the words of the Most High, because most are wide open on Broadway Ave with closed eyes, where unsupposed lies have stole the lives of chosen tribes opposed to die. Thinking the foes are in the sky, never in the know, but always asking why, thinking all angels got wings and can fly, when in fact most messengers walk the earth in disguise as the seed of the woman nor the seed of the serpent. So realize these days are urgent and full of Babylon pollution, which is what got this world in so much spiritual confusion. So what's the solution? Which way are you choosing? Are you fruit of the spirit using, or substance abusing, cruising down a dead end to doom from midnight to noon, unaware of legions, demons lurking with the intent to consume the womb of every virgin you sacrifice at your love altar, like the satanic rituals practiced by the Knights of Malta, who offer souls in exchange for their worldly kingdom, accepting the gifts of wickedness that Beelzebub brings them, as these dirty, rotten scoundrels then surround you with fear while they live in royal like gargoyles. But let he who has ears hear what says the Spirit, because it's apocalypse now.
All right, Devar, everybody. OZ is making his way up here to help us once again. All right, judges, lift them up. We have a 10, a 9.6, a 9.1, an 8.5, and a 9.3. All right. Thank you, OZ. Is he not wonderful? All right. So you guys want to know who's in round two? Y'all ever seen Rocky Horror Picture Show? That's like my favorite movie, you guys. Say it! Patience. All right. All right. In round two, in this order, we have, drum roll. All right, we have Joe Bear, Robert Gano, Too Cool, Dylan Collins, Jeanette Powers, Josh Staley, and Amazing. Round of applause for all round two, please. And round of applause for our wonderful help over here, keeping things from falling down too much. Thank you, gentlemen. Oh, God, don't die, please. Jesus. I didn't realize he was on a spinny stool. I could have died, guys. All right.
He could have died.
He could have fallen on me. Thanks, Dylan. Thank you, gentlemen. All right. 2 comments before we go into round 2. This is where we start to get real, guys. There's money on the line. Do not be afraid to judge accordingly, and poets, be aware of your time limit because it does affect your scores. 3 minutes, 10 minutes grace, then you start losing points, okay? Okay. All right, so up first, as I just said, we have Joe Bear. Round of applause, please.
I stride my kingdom blue-fisted. As we walk, I bark useless commands at your defiant diviners, deafened by a previous iteration of me who hid the crazy in your back door. As we walk, I dream of steaming piles, perfect, singular, alone. But not your issuance. A dibble here, a dabble there, must you crap in every yard. My gauntlets flapping plastic named Blue Neon, who shout doggy-doo picker-upper at the world. I cannot remember the sit-down with Dad. I do not remember the class that tossed me the knowledge how tightly wound my adult sanity would be with the opening and closing of my dog's ass.
All right, thank you, Joe. Judges, get them up when you got them. We have 9.0, a 6.0, an 8.8, an 8.8, and a 9.0. Come on. Thank you. Keep it going, guys. All right, our next poet to the stage is Mr. Robert Gano. Round of applause, please.
The horror of my life is never ending because I always have to contend with the nasty attitude of my poppy poopy poo. And you are not helpful. Your conclusions tend to be wrong. Why don't you eat my favorite ice cream? It tastes so fucking good. You are the root of my never-ending horror, as you will not tell me what the fuck is up or down. Give me back my compass or I'll look at you funny. You will not be laughing. You will be shitting your pants. Thank you for finally asking about my sausage. It's about time you pay close attention. My favorite sausages are filled with the craziest ingredients. They taste so fucking good, I bet they cause diseases. Please don't ever ask me to get naked at the public showers, as my dick looks like a sausage. It's long and meaty, and I sure as hell don't want you to see my dick naked and conclude it's filled with the craziest ingredients. For the record, my dick is just made of dick. I want to make sure we are perfectly clear. That being said, I still love the taste of my sausage. It tastes like perfection with my favorite ice cream. I vote with my conscience. I went mad cow for our leader, but I very well know a win by mad cow will not make my dick happy because my long and meaty dick still has to share a room in my shorts with my ploppy poopy poo. Poo makes me feel squirmy. I know you agree. You feel my squirm. Because the horror is never ending. My mad cow has been elected. But mad cow's first course of action was to dump a stinky, treasonous traitor into my shorts. Mad cow ruined the plan. What a fucking liar. Don't lie to my ploppy poopy poo, or else my ploppy poo will get very hot-headed, jump right out of my shorts, and melt the polar ice caps with all of his irrepressible ploppy poo heat, because you gotta stop all that bullshit, or I will raise the sea levels until your entire nation will find itself under the ocean. You will be consumed by my waters of contrition, as I will teach you how Noah and all his animals did not shit all over themselves during their time of crisis. I'm sure you have heard about a book called the Bible. My ploppy poo thinks it's time for you to start reading. My dick is made of sausage. My dick is made of sausage. My dick is made of bratwurst and kielbasa. My dick is my favorite sausage. I think you agree. Do yourself a favor and stop your never-ending crazy. You've got to play your ukulele as if it is a tough penis. Haven't you been told that you are a fool not to eat my dick sausage? It tastes so fucking good. It's served with ketchup blood ice cream, which is my favorite flavor.
All right, thank you, Robert. Judges, we have an 8.8, a 9.1, an 8.5, an 8.7, and an 8.7. All right. Guys, I have some terribly exciting news for you. We had a miscalculation in the scores. This does not affect anyone that I announced is in round 2, but it does mean you get to hear one more poet in round 2. Would you like to know who it is? Esno Martin. I know, right? All right, so Esno will go at the end of the round after the lineup that I announced. I apologize tremendously. Doing math by yourself is hard. All right. Yeah, okay. Sure, competitor. All right, up next we have Too Cool. Round of applause.
The man, he called us the people with the year-long tan. Oh. His plan was to insult me. But as I continued to listen to what the man was saying, I had to laugh. It was a joke to me. I thought, what did he think was so bad about a little color? When there's a billion-dollar industry built specifically to add a little color. Or what about the fall leaves, the natural orange, reds, browns that spring when the heat and the green leave? And then like clockwork comes the yellows, pinks, purples that bloom with spring. It's undeniable. Color brings life to real things. That's why I don't understand the man. Had he not seen the woman in the natty pink robe with but 1 or 2 teeth? She's just interested in shoes, picking her sores as she mops the floors with her feet. Or what about the vet fresh back from war with a knapsack packed full of PTSD? Had he not seen the man with cat hair and spilled milk all through his fleece? Or the mechanic over there munching on muffins with his hands still caked with grease? Had he not seen the thieves who stole the peace from our schools, malls, and movies? That's why I don't understand the man. He called us the people with the year-long tan. So I had to hit him with something lethal. And this is what I end up saying. I said, no, man, we are the people with twice the violence in our community. A fraction of a half of the graduates and a fraction of an opportunity. We are the people with the misconstrued reputation, because anyone who views the news can't help but to get a skewed representation. And if you are lacking color in your life, then you're left with only a black and white interpretation. That's why I can understand how you may have missed while we were getting these tans with these hands. We built America's foundation. We've come from under the thumb of an oppressive past to become a powerful presence. And we worked our way over the decades to prove our worth as residents, making what the man was saying completely irrelevant. Because if it had any relevance, then how did a tan man get elected president? Twice. So no man, we are the people with the lifelong tan.
All right, that was Too Cool. Judges, put them up. We have a 9.8, an 8.8, a 9.0, a 9.4, and a 9.3. Another round of applause for Too Cool. All right, you guys. Keep it going. Up next for Dylan Collins.
My wife is infected. It's pretty serious. She's not medicated. I know a lot of people are, but we can't afford it. This is a plague that's been sweeping our nation ever since there were poor people and rich people. It's as serious as the Ebola virus making its way home. Serious as the waking dead choosing our lands to roam. My wife, around 90% of the time, doesn't think she's beautiful. She doesn't believe me when I say she is, doesn't believe that her size is just right, doesn't understand why she is the only person in my line of sight. It's heartbreaking. Oftentimes it takes all of my poetry skills to convince her, and that doesn't even always work, but she's not the type to be medicating with subscriptions to beauty magazines and pretty dresses just because she wants them. She's not the type to fall so completely to those normalized lies of perfection which run rampant in this country. And ladies, I gotta say it. I know you know, but you just can't convince yourself of the fact. You are beautiful. That word is not defined by the style of your hair or the curve of your hips, the color of your skin or your voluptuous lips. It's inside. You carry your beauty with you in your hopes and dreams and the confidence you have in yourself. Wife, you are created in the image of God, and I think that means something. I love you. You deal with more stress on a daily basis than anyone I know. I love you. You have the strongest will that I ever came across in all of my searching for you. I love you. You are the kindest, most caring person I know. I love you. You're the only woman I know that will be equally thankful for a bouquet of flowers or a bottle of whiskey. I love you. You are the woman of my dreams and the light of my life. I vow to treasure you and respect you and protect you with all the strength and abilities God has seen fit to bless me with. I love you. You are beautiful.
All right, thank you, Dylan. And judges, we have a 9.7, a 9, a 9.1, a 9.3, and a 9.5. Another round of applause, please. All right. Just for the record, I am always grateful for whiskey. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. Up next, we have Jeanette Powers.
When asked what advice I'd give my younger self, dear 9-year-old Jeanette, remember how today you realized that with your imagination, you were completely free? That's not a question. It's a statement. Remember how today you realized that with your imagination, you are completely free. This is the most important moment of your life. It is the earmark by which you will hear everything that comes after. I see you in rainbow suspenders with a book on the playground, and I'm not going to give you one bit of advice. I'm not going to school you or whip you from my 2020 high horse, and the thing about it is that you won't let anyone else either. You're what we politely call strong-willed. Stubborn as a headstrong little girl. And anyways, Uncle Dwayne already told you, you ain't like them other cats. Don't let 'em scratch you. Little Jenny Sue, you are 9 years old and the world is right in front of you. You are curious as a 9-tailed fox chatting with a fat man under a laurel tree, bright-eyed as a first roller coaster ride, carefree as the first green leaf of spring. You trust the world so much. You leap from playground swings while blindfolded. You believe wings will burst forth from your shoulder blades and lift you skyward. You believe the fall will not be fatal, that you will always walk away unharmed. It's probably the books that taught you that. It's good you love the library. It's good you wrapped your My Little Ponies in shoestrings to play Tutankhamun. It's good you colored the sailboat instead of the butterfly. It's good you tried to brush the dog's teeth. It's good you held that dog in your arms while he died. It's good you cared more about the still living when your grandfather died. Jenny Penny, your heart is overflowing with love. You see angels in clouds. You see lies on grown-ups' faces. You have taught yourself everything you know so far. I'm so proud of you. You are curious. You ride horses bareback. You talk to squirrels and they talk back. They say, you ain't like them other nuts. Don't let them crack you. And all I really want to say to you is, hey kid, keep playing. Keep climbing trees. Keep inventing constellations. Keep winking at everyone. Keep running around naked. You ain't like them other bananas. Don't let them peel you. And they're going to try to, kid. They're going to try to put you in timeout. They're going to try to send you to bed without dinner. They're going to try to ground you. But today, you realized that with your imagination, you are completely free.
Thank you, Jeanette. Judges, we have scores. And we have a 9.8, a 9.5, a 9.2, a 9.7, and a 9.6. Another round of applause for Jeanette. All right, we have 3 more poets for you, then we'll take a brief break and come back for the final round. $100, guys. All right, up next we have Josh Staley to the stage.
I'd like to recite a piece about the movement of every generation and how it all seems so very unique. These memories loosely resemble an idea. I know it, you've seen it. To be worse, toppling all later when tuning in televisions. People are easy. He tends to mend plain Jane girls like her. He plans them as their hair falls down around the sound of focus when it's good. Over easy, he said to his son. Some men would have just been undone by someone smarter. You work harder next time. Relationships split. Puddles of spilt milk rather slather on about nothing. After seeing this, he understands a glazed over, recovering to smile and rub static into the young man's head. When is good? Over easy, the saying used to go. And going was so compelling, someone would either have to laugh, patter the matter with a gift of some silent description. As in a side dish embodying 1 hour of lament. Spent thinking so much it seems so very little, too less somehow. How it all converges on one now. The now who will one day way out west wildly proclaim, I am done with what I take and with what I've taken every day. Becomes the now who spits at the sky high to only have it land and demand, I am done with what I take and with what I've taken every day. Becomes the now who spits at the sky to only have it land and demand. It all seems so very much less than over than when. Thank you.
All right, everybody, that's Josh Staley. Judges, do we have scores? Up, we have an 8.9, a 9, an 8.8, a 6.0, and an 8.5. All right. Come on, give it up. We got 2 more poets for you in this round. Up next, we have Amazing. All the way to the stage. Thank you.
Fairy tales should never end with middle fingers. But we don't see what we used to see because of her. She sees only her side of the story. And it's her fault that we can't get along, and all along it rests on my shoulders that I hurt her in return for how she hurt me. But I can't understand how you love somebody and treat her so bad and not be responsible for your own mistakes, because the truth is, I only had the candles. I said, fuck the cake. I make a meal in this empty plate, yet the appetizer was a time waste. And I tried to salvage the entree, but it was too late. She was room before we started cooking, so dummy me should have kept on looking, because if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and talks like a duck, goddamn it, it's a duck. And she was a full-blown gander with rotten eggs trying to be a diva, and your ass is barely a peasant. See, I get physically ill in your presence, because talking about you makes me sick. But I'm the dumb one for taking a chance, because mama told me, boy, don't you rush love. You'll find your diamond at first glance. And she was clearly that shit that turned your neck green like envy. Robbing your soul till your heart's empty. But sometime later, she calls to talk when before she didn't want to know me at all. Because last year, she walked away gladly, not thinking a year later she'd see her brother happy. So for 1 year, I sat back taking insults. Now with this one breath, I murder your ass with words on impulse. Because this phone call is how you say I'm sorry without the instant whys, just hellos and highs. But I can't hear you because I turned my ear off the bullshit, and I'm afraid it's too late to apologize. Because you can't take back the depression. Loving you put me into a mental suppression. So forgive the regression into a mindset that involves me defecating on your opinion. Because every day I'm asking why. Why did I try? Why did I cry? Why did I still care about somebody who obviously had the audacity to hurt me so badly? And when this phone call ends, I swallow the little jagged pill that says, can't be friends. Because I'm still in love with hope. And to cope, I put a gun to the head in the mirror, and I ask this question. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the bigger fool, me or you? Me for being oblivious to see me to look out for me, or you for torturing me through your version of the truth? And right now, I still can't rid myself of the metallic taste left of me from this bitterness you had left in my spirit. I'd rather slit my wrist than live with. So with one shot, I say goodbye to the times I tried, to the times I cried, to the times I lied, and as me dies, the things arise before my eyes, because fairy tales should never end with middle fingers. But this is no fucking fairy tale. Just at the end of the me that cares about you, and the beginning of the me that's past you, the better me version 2, gladly ever after.
All right, amazing, everybody. And judges, we have a 10, a 10, a 9.6, a 9.2, and a 9.5. Another round of applause, please. All right, and our final poet of this round is Esno Martin.
And amazing, let me tell you that my skin is not a privilege. It's just proof of slavery's history, regardless of my race. Because in every strand of my DNA is but the battle scars of rapes and even more brutal reparations. Specifically as a Spaniard, I started out black. Yes. Because my people were once the Carthaginians. We were North Africans racing the Romans for the title of supreme murderers of the Mediterranean after they annexed Greece. And we harvested Persia for their spears. We were outnumbered from the start, but they had to squash us 3 times. And by the time they were done with us, we were white. Our slaves switched sides. Those who made it back to Africa survived with the same skin, but us Spaniards, no. We were stuck, getting stuck despite our screams. And we ran into the mountains. And we found Jewish kings in Exodus. We were elated because by our shared history, sympathy spared us the sadism, but not the slavery. And we had barely settled in before the Moors, who were once our brothers, came raging across the sea to see to it that we had no peace. We tried to run deeper into the mountains, and some of us made it. They were the Portuguese, but most of us, we were captured. We were reconverted. They chained us to our empire where they built it. They made us scrub our history off our holy places, and for another 700 years, because in those 900 years since the Romans had conquered us, we had never broken the chains. For another 700 years, we were slaves and subhumans again. And in 1492, when Ferdinand and Isabella kicked out the last of the Moors and set out to making us white again, we said never again, and we set out for South America. You know, this story gets strange, because you'd think that 1,600 years would have soured us Spaniards on slavery, but instead we started an inquisition at home and set out to conquer an entire hemisphere. You know what? It felt good to crack the whip. It felt good to hold the women down. It felt good to be changing the color of their skin and erasing their history. And we were not alone, because our lucky brothers, the Portuguese, those who had continued to run into the mountains and escape to the other side, to them we subcontracted the slavery of every innocent east of the Amazon. And meanwhile in England, the Irish and the Scottish, they were all but working off the sins of their Celtic brothers. And backwards and forwards throughout history, it's all the same. We are all rape victims turned rapists, turned rape victims turned rapists. We are all rape victims who raped our rapists for just a little while until our rapists raped us back. And so don't you think it's a little silly to be wondering about who made whose slave? No. We should all be worrying about wiping segregation and subjugation off the face of the planet. Like we have all wiped so many tears off our faces.
Esno, everybody. Judges, we have a 9.8, an 8.8, a 10, a 9.7, and a 9.5.
Yes!
Oh my. All right, guys, we're going to take a 5-minute break while we total that round and then come back and we'll announce your final 3. Ready, go.
Lovely, lovely, lovely one, come sit down on my knee.
So we have a third round. 3 poets who are going to compete for the $100 prize and a chance to be on the Kansas City Slam team. That's very exciting. You should be clapping. Well, thank you. And I suppose you'd like to know who they are. Well, too fucking bad. We have another sacrificial for you. He's a regular, he's lovely, he's hilarious, he's wonderful, he's all of those things and more. Mr. Alex Shipley. Judges, remember you're scoring him too, just like you did the other 2. Do
Alright, judges. Be mean. Knock, knock. Who's there? Undesired attraction. Undesired attraction to who? I mean, come on. Look at you. You're absolutely beautiful. A genetic jackpot winner. I find myself tongue-tied when I ask you to dinner. My mother taught me to look beneath the surface. But why isn't there a mining operation in the Grand Canyon? Because the exterior is just so perfect. Stolen glances and awkward glances are mine to keep. When I'm speaking to you, I find my voice goes half an octave more deep. When we're apart, I find all other conversations inferior. I wish I could always look at you, man in the mirror.
Modest. Modest is one thing he's not. All right, judges. We have an 8, an 8.6, a 9, an 8.9, and a 9.1. Thank you, Mr. Alex. All right, guys. So we have a final 3, as I said before. And they're pretty great. I mean, they're all real good poets, obviously. So I'm going to do a poem for you. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. How mean would that be? I love you too. Keep time. Okay. So our final 3 in this order. Round of applause for all of them because they all worked really hard to get here. All right. Going first in the final round, we have Amazing. Second, we have Esno Martin. And last but certainly not least, Dylan Collins. Holy shit.
Bullshit! 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 Bullshit.
On what? If you have issues with the math, you can talk to me after the show. I would just like to note that time is a factor. Another round of applause for our final 3, please. All right, so first to the stage, we have Amazing.
See, I've been writing poetry for a little while now. And I've seen quite a few ups, and I've experienced many downs. And I've made some friends, and I've come out with enemies. I've tested the limits of my mind with my soul running on empty, and yet I'm still here. And I am still here writing away my years in exchange for tears. The ones we shed at the blink of happiness and those that come at the brink of darkness. Because I'll be honest and say, I don't get so caught up in faces that the world I exist as king becomes spaceless that my words end up misplaced. And my poetry ends up a face fest. So busy writing these words to make your fingers clap and hands clap, I might as well be the next cat that comes out and rap for the many times I found myself caught up in the rapture of my own mess that the words weren't pure. Because the stories I was telling was from frustrations and not my love. Because the fame poets gain is an addictive drug. And I feel like I sniffed enough shit I had glued my nose to somebody's asshole. Importing everyone's input and never really being happy with my own. And yes, I know all my demons ain't gone, but guess what? It feels good to be home. Because it's like bliss when the words start to talk to me again. Because we've been fighting so long, almost forget we friends. Or better yet, I am that father struggling just to raise his kids because they should never have to know what child support is. Or a teacher that is pleased to his students to understand why these days education is only to open confident for a game plan, but what you do, it determines where you go. So let nobody, not mama, your daddy, your boys, your brothers, your sisters, or anybody ever tell you, stop at the first no. So I wrote these words for you. That you who hates turning to the news and finds another issue. For that you that's been praying in the street lights with a box of tissue, or maybe you just can't get through a microphone and the words not hit you. For the you who gets to the microphone and forget your words on a miscue. See, I write these words for those whose talent doesn't allow them to say what they feel creatively. For that little 16-year-old girl who has birthed a baby mistakenly, I wrote these words for you. And I wrote these words for you because I'm writing for the kid that thinks about bringing a gun to school, because I know that feeling. I've been there too. For the person who proclaims the world does not understand what you're going through, these words are for my friends, Nathan Bowie, Larry Henderson, DeMarco Harvey, Brandon Charles, Ronald McDowell, Just J. Jackson, Tanisha Gilmore, Chantrell Golden, and every friend that I've lost in this rat race. For the Jesus I'm praying, when it's all over, I get to see his face. For my grandmother, Ethel Jean Nelson, who remains a shine in my eye. For my mother, Denise Nelson, who told me, boy, don't you ever say die. For my brother, Adrian Washington, that sits in Leavenworth and will never understand again what it means to be free. And my father, Andre Washington, I proudly tell you I'm your son, because it was you not being there that served as the best lesson they ever taught me. And to this day, I will never understand why God chose to make me a poet, but my heart is his and he knows it. Despite the roadblocks laid in my way, despite the remembrance of what I said at the end of the day, these words fall from the pen of someone usual, someone just trying to find his way on the road to renewal. Because all the failure I've endured, I use it as fuel. Because no matter what you or you think, this life I live ain't for me, it's for them. I wrote these words for you.
All right, judges, final round. We have 9.8, 9.6, a 10, a 9.7, and a 9.7. All right, guys. Two more poets. Up next, we have Ejno.
My first job taught me that pretending to be Jewish is not an effective long-term strategy. And my second, that adults will abuse children in any way they can get away with. My third job taught me that even if you have one, the police aren't always showing up just to see you. I mean, sometimes they want a sandwich, right? And my fourth job, that calling your coworkers gindaloons is rarely advisable in front of the owner, whose last name is Pellerito. My fifth job taught me not to drop acid and come to work. My sixth, to check the schedule. My seventh, that I'm a coward. My eighth, that just because I've started working doesn't mean that the drug screen came back clean. My ninth, that when you work for the government, the less you do, the more they like you for it. I mean, I spend at least 4 hours every day looking for very important people they never heard of, because they didn't exist. And I spent 8 months at job 10 learning how to rob the register blind without leaving any trace. Job 11 taught me that masturbating in the supply closet isn't all it's cracked up to be. Jobs 12 and 13, well, they were pleasant actually, not really. Job 14 taught me that when you have dreadlocks, you automatically become the fall guy anytime anybody gets high in a 6-block radius. Job 15, that I actually can't speak Spanish. Job 16 taught me that if you drink a fifth of gin, you will sweat juniper poison for days. Job 17, that smoking meth actually makes you a better employee. Clean floors and walls and mop sinks and trash cans are more important than profits. Job 19 taught me how to flood a pyramid scheme. Job 20, that used car salesmen really are the lowest form of life on earth. I sell cars like old people. Fuck. Thanks, Pete Franklin. Job 21 through 24 taught me that if you're an overprivileged white boy, working in an Asian restaurant is the closest thing to hell you'll ever know. And job 25, that it's not the Asians' fault. Job 26 taught me that lobbyists are professional liars, so I shouldn't have been surprised when they lied about planning on paying me. And job 27, that my idea of compassion is corporate America's idea of treason. Job 28, that actually
Judges, we have a 10, an 8.9, keep it going at 9.5, and a 9.6. Another round of applause, please, for Esno. And your last poet for the evening, before we tally and give away some money, is Dylan Collins, everybody.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you want some. Carry on my wayward son. Don't you cry for me. 82221. That's what he told me his number was. I assumed it was a phone number as I watched him awkwardly stumble through the menus on his cell, but maybe it was a life number. He must have been drunk or high or both. He sure looked like it. But then again, Hawk always looked like that. In the 5-minute talk we had as he shared his sidewalk bench with me, we had more real talk than I've had in hour-long conversations with poets. He bummed a cigarette as he told me about his stage 3 lung and liver cancer. How he woke up in the emergency room asking, what happened? They told him his cancer is advancing. They then proceeded to kick him out at 4 in the morning when he said he didn't have insurance. He had his trademark sign, wife had a better lawyer, need work. Trying to get enough money for a flight down to Spokane, Washington, he had to pick up his daughter's ashes and take them to Canada to spread. I slipped him a 20 and told him to have a good day. He thanked me from the bottom of his nicotine-stained vice grip handshake and gave me a hug, saying, God bless you, man. This is a brother hug. I hope I see you again were my parting words. You probably will, but it might be up there, he said, gesturing at the sky. 1 week later, I returned to the land of the hipster hive and the pit, better known as Lawrence. He was nowhere to be seen at his usual corner, but there was a single plastic water bottle with 2 perfect roses. No note, no explanation, but I knew who they were for. Goodbye, Hawk. Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you want some. Carry on my wayward son. Don't you cry for me.
All right, Dylan Collins, everybody. Judges, do we have scores? We have a 10, a 9.0, a 9.1. You can clap, guys. It's okay. Thank you. A 9.5 and a 9.5. All right. All right. I'm going to need a couple minutes to do a little math, if that's okay with you. I would... Is Envy on Pain still here? Would you like to do a poem for us, ma'am?
Childhood taunts turned adulthood haunts. Not realizing at the time, I would let the comments of schoolyard chums of mine define my divine crown of glory. The link to royalty, the kink of kings and queens in mothering lands. My roots were deeply disguised. behind my juvenile sense of pride and their prejudice. So before I was even old enough to be considered a little woman, I developed a need to relax. Became an addict for creamy crack in an attempt to attract the acceptance of a group in which I did not fit, all because my roots were thick, like thighs and hips attached to bodies, attached to ships on a middle passage, and in passing I failed to see that wanting to deny the slave in my genes turned me into a slave to weave and flat ironing, heat damaging my self-esteem because no lie, I was a fiend for no lie and sodium hydroxide, and I couldn't wait to apply ammonium thioglycolate in hopes that my hair would wave like amber grains, but more times than not, it would just hang like the fruit from southern trees. Strange how my skin tone is proof of my foremothers' rapes, yet the only thing that I found myself concerned about was how my color didn't match my nape, and I couldn't quite articulate how much I was eating off of Jim Crow's plate with my self-hate, all because my hair wasn't straight and my roots were hard to penetrate, like a segregated South. And my strands were hard to pick out, like Emmett Till after he was beaten for a sound that came out of his mouth. See, I fry-dyed and blow-dried my hair until it almost had fallen out. I almost had a falling out with my image. I couldn't stare in the mirror if I saw one little kink, too afraid of what others might think, and my self-confidence would shrink if somebody said one little thing, because I wasn't concerned about Martin Luther King's dream about being judged by the contents of your character instead of that which was on the outside. And there would be times when I cried, times when I stressed, paused my whole life over the condition of my tress. And I decided that I had it with this mess. So, about 2011, grabbed a pair of shears, gave my strands a hack time, traveled like shaklack until I could feel my roots deep, thick, and ancient as artifacts, unable to be affected by the current trends of the time. And no, my hair is not Hawaiian silky, but god damn it, this shit is mine. I am able to look into the mirror and collect the light from my own shine while basking in this glory, because my roots are deep, thick, and rich, just like my hair story.
Oh, damn it, you guys. Is she not incredible? That's MVP. She guest hosts here sometimes. You guys should come out. We do this every first Wednesday, but every Wednesday there's an open mic, and most of these people are here, so you should come for that too, because it's a ball, okay? All right, who's ready to find out who won? Oh, so much power. All right. In third place, we have, drum roll please, Dylan Collins. Come on up, man. Everybody's coming up to the stage. And in second place, we have, drum roll please, Esno Martin, which means the winner of the $100 prize is amazing. All right. You got one more for us?
You want to know something honest? I don't have nothing else on my heart, but there is somebody in this room I would love to hear spit instead of me.
Jeanette?
Who is it? And, she's always quick to put me on blast, so I think tonight I get to put her on blast because normally she helps co-host here. So I was wondering if my big sister, Angela Rue, would come up here and spit.
Hi. Was not, we just got into this conversation about no cell phones. God damn it, Brandon. Yeah, I've been absent because I have been working a lot. And so I haven't really been writing anything at all, to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, let me go ahead and see if I can find something real quick, maybe. I don't know. Well, no, I'm gonna do it. I'm just saying, give me a minute. No, what? I told you, I don't really have nothing memorized. What do you want to hear? Oh, okay, fine. Okay, let me think if I have it. Well, hold up. He since he gonna put me on blast, I guess I might as well oblige him and do the request. So, all right. We are standing on the precipice of an artificial brilliance. Foolishly content with globalization and technology driven, we sip our mocha latte logic on our internet cafes. Cling to iPhone ideologies, making ourselves believe that we are a global community, connected. Connected to she in Paris, who's connected to him in Sydney, who's connected to them in Moscow, who's connected to me here. It used to be that human connections were defined by 6 degrees, a touch of a hand, a wave of a hello. But now we wander around like androids, holding our Verizon droids, unable to speak a complete sentence to one another. Something like, O-M-G, I-D-K, W-T-F. We have that natural propensity for the what's hot and the you ain't up on this, and we stay wired like meth addicts addicted to megabytes and megapixels and megahertz, and it hurts that the use of language is dying out like Sanskrit if we don't take the time to maintain and retain it. I want to rewind to a time when a handwritten love letter was an actual symbol for courtship. Our grandmothers would wait with anticipation for grandfather's declarations from half a world away. She'd take her hand, scan the page, filling the grooves and edges of the pen as if she were reading Braille. And she'd hold on to these love letters and cherish them as keepsakes while we short-type text messages and delete them to create more space. We used to make haste to check our MySpace accounts. Now we tweak out on Twitter. Be Facebook status whores to the core. We want that wicked, quick fix knowledge, and we wonder why these kids using text speak in admissions letters for college. We're trapped in the bondage of a World Wide Web, stuck behind Bill's gates, peeking out windows at the destruction of our natural ability to communicate. So as I tune in, you drop out to the music on your iPod, while Steve gets more blow jobs with every Apple device sold. Emotional bonds are weakened by emoticons with every correspondence we have with a loved one. Think about it. TTYL, open parentheses, I heart you, and you think you are so connected.
All right, thank everybody for coming out. Keep it going for all of our poets tonight. We had a great lineup, you guys. All right, we invite you back next month for the last chance to qualify for the slam in which we will choose the team. That's one more. Ready? All right, and every Wednesday here we have open mic. Come back and see us. You all have a great night, okay?